Hey everybody, it's Wolfpack. Gonna drop another video. As everybody knows, we're in the 10 days of silence, and this is what day one, day two, depending on when you started counting. I consider it day two. Um, I've gotten some questions. Get some housekeeping things out of the way real quick. People are asking me, starting to ask questions. Who are you? Well, my name is Nobody. Okay, I prefer to be nobody. I do not want to be put on the skyline, so I had a difficult time putting videos out or putting information out from entity to entity. So I am nobody. Where do you get, who are your sources? Where do you get all your leads? Where do you get all this or whatever? If you think I'm going to tell you, you're dumb. You're stupid ass. Okay, I'm not going to tell you. I don't let you know because the fact is that I do not put targets on people's back. Because ultimately, you cannot trust anybody. Because sooner or later, they're going to sell out, or they're going to be forced into a position where they have to sell you out. They might not like it, but they got to cover their ass first. So I don't put a target on anybody's back. Where do I get my experience? Where do I get my intelligence? Where do I get my actual right to actually address you individuals? Intelligence is a vast subject. Intelligence is taught. But the part of being intelligent is also being able to apply what you've taught to what you've been taught to what you see and actually making an analysis. Intelligence is no good if you don't figure it out. Intelligence is just an idea or something supposed to happen or something speculating to happen, but you have no actual physical proof that it's going to happen. Intelligence is derived of actually being able to, as closely as you can, identify the situation to where within a shadow of doubt, within so many hours, it's going to happen, who's in danger, who's not. Where do I get this intelligence? Once again, do you think I'm going to tell you? Okay. As I said before, do not trust anyone right now. No one. They will end up using you in the long run. Just a simple fact. People will use you and your information that you have and then cut you loose as soon as they gain spotlight. So I don't want any spotlight. I don't care. I just want individuals to actually do the research on their own. We have a lot of YouTubers out there that are continuing to do research. It's all been dark because Q's went dark. So now we've got a lot of people speculating or waiting for his next word. I predicted that on Sunday, and I said we were going to run silent, run deep. And that gave me an opportunity to sit back and look at some of the things that maybe I had missed on some of his posts or some of the ideas or the arrows of where he was leading me. Now, did that get me anywhere? Yes. It got me to the point to where, yes, by the end of this week, shit is already starting to hit the fan today. With the Senate hearings, with all this, everybody's name is coming up. Stroke's name. I mean, all these people that are named are coming up are affected. All have one thing in common, is that if enough of these congressmen are forced to resign or not run for re-election, this changes the whole political dilemma, because now the Republicans will own the House and the Senate. They're in force of predicting our next president. In other words, what we're seeing now is a war on Democrats. They set themselves up for it. Damned if they didn't get caught. My personal opinion is that, if you're going to be good at something, damn, don't get caught. I don't care how smart you think you are, you get caught, you're still stupid. Okay, next point I have. Chicago takeover by the UN. I've heard that rumor going around. No, it's not going to happen. The UN is not going to go in. The UN is there in case that America actually employs martial law. The UN has no jurisdiction. The UN has no way of going in and taking your weapons. They have no authority to do so. I'm not saying they're not going to try, but they have no authority to do so. The reason why this is important, as a lot of people don't understand, is that once you're in the National Guard and you get called to duty, you're actually being called up by the Army to active duty. So your status as a National Guard soldier changes what is called Title 10 orders. In other words, they issue you federalization. You are now in the Army, and all the privileges and things that go along with that: rank, promotions, money, the whole 9 yards. But let me say that again. You are actually in the Army once you're called up from the National Guard. Now, how is this important? Well, because the fact is National Guard soldiers are not privy, or they do not have the capability of patrolling the streets with armed ammunition. They walk around. If you look at their or look at their M4s, or they look at their L15s, or whatever particular type of weapon they're using, they have no magazine. They don't have a round in the chamber. It's unloaded. So basically, what the American people are doing, what America's doing, is sending them out there as a deterrent. Basically, they have no capability to defend themselves. The first sign of trouble, then the Army will move in. But this is all well and good because that's all Army and Navy bullshit. The shit's really hitting the fan is that the Marines are going to actually, as I said before, they will actually have command and control of the entire situation. Marines will take control of government operations for security of government operations and all those that are essential personnel to make decisions upon this for this nation. The government will carry on. So, no. I know there's been buildups of UN. I know there's been, they are there for one reason and one reason only. If they choose to deploy, they're on a peacekeeping mission. Basically, what they'll be is for us, okay? For them to drive us and put us in frickin' FEMA camps so that we can better control, or our military can better control us. That will be the responsibility of the UN. UN is the one who creates FEMA camps, not our armed forces. I challenge you guys. I found a very good site. It's broadcastify.com. It's one of my tools that I use to get information directly from the source or directly from the area. It's broadcastify.com. I'm sure some of you have heard it. I don't know if you realize the applications that you can actually do with this, but you can actually go and you can see what police activity is actually happening in that area. I look at the number. I look at the number of I look at the number of actual people that are online, that are watching or listening to this. That gives me a parameter of something's really going on. For 7 months, 7 days a week, for 7 months, Chicago has been the top of that list. There are more people tuning in just to listen to Broadcastify, the Chicago station, and Chicago police, EMS, fire. They've even got ham broadcasters now because it's so bad. Chicago answer, I don't know. But I will say this one thing, and I think that the powers that be have kind of thought about this, but also the fact is if you go into Chicago and start taking guns, you're going to bite off more than you can chew. There's nothing worse than uniting an enemy together for the same purpose. So if you go in to Chicago and start taking weapons, what's that? We all know that how many bad guys have got the freaking weapons. What if they all get together and start fighting for the common cause? We're in a world of freaking hurt because you don't have any way of preparing an army for that type of urban warfare. You just don't. Okay. I know this has been predicted for a long period of time, but now I'm starting to see it in action. What is happening is that YouTube channels, social media, media of any means that are going through on your computer are actually going through a subscriber or any types of these methods. They have had to actually install a machine that actually determines whenever they can break in. In other words, it's an upgrade of the EAS system, the emergency alert system. What this machine is also capable of doing is that if you are, and it's been happening for the people that are live, so I didn't mean to stress, but anyway, people that are going live, that's why we don't see anybody live anymore. Because the fact is that they will interrupt your stream or your recording. The algorithms are being placed, are being tested, and are actually going to be put in place on the 28th of this month. But now we're starting to see sporadic incidences of this because they're testing. So don't be looking at your computer and saying, well, shit, something happened. It's my internet connect. No, it's not. 9 times out of 10, it's not. They're fucking with your channel. They're keeping you from getting certain amount of words said that can make a picture of what your actual point is in your message. In other words, they're scrambling it. One of the best examples of this is when the Japanese, and they got our codes and they could speak English better than we could. So we used what they remember the movie Wind Talkers. That's true. We may have to resort to some kind of cryptic language like that. I think if somebody was smart, they would actually already come up with that. But I do have my own crypto page that I share with some people, and we actually talk uninhibited. Even if they read what the hell we made, they don't even write. They wouldn't even know what the hell we're talking about. Shit, some of my people that I talk to, hell, depends on how many beers they have, or even understand you or not. So anyway, these are going to start affecting. It's going to start affecting YouTube first. The next in line will be Facebook, will be Twitter, and then also will be Google Talk. Gab is going to get hit. Gab is going to get hit to the point to where they may go down because they don't have the capabilities, the large capabilities of these other appointments or these other entities. The key is to shut down the web for a period of time. Now, as I stated before, one of the best things you can do is take one of these, okay, my phone. I know. Yes, trust me, it's here for a reason. Don't have all the bells and whistles on, but all it gives me all I need. All I need to know is be able to who I can contact, who I can call, and then I have different numbers programmed in here from which number I call from. That's a hint. And also, normally I take the battery out. Today I'm stationary, so you know it ain't gonna do me no damn good to know when I'm at home anyway. And around my room here is that there lead. That's lead. I tinker in black powder weapons, and I got lead balls all around, so that's called part of my normal protection. I do this because I have been caught, or I have caught individuals who fucked with my phone. Now, proof of that, I will tell you this little story. I don't mean to go on. During Hurricane Harvey, me and a few buddies of mine who had boats, we decided to go down to Houston and help out where we could. We didn't get all the way into Houston, but we were directed to a place called Spring and the Woodlands, which is on the north side of Houston. We immediately went to work pulling people out, and we stopped to take a break and get some water. And we were looking around this little area, which is kind of like a little bay, and we saw individuals in a boat with fully automatic weapons, 9mm, flak jackets, in unidentified boats, just cruising around the area. Off to the left, we saw this high-tech operation where these individuals were talking seemingly to the helicopters. I don't know if that's true or not, but I guess that that's probably where they were getting all this information. And they were sending out these skeeter boats, you know, the big ones with the fans, sending out these skeeter boats. They were also unidentified. They were sending them out. The reason why I paid attention, because the fact is, when I'm wanting somebody to go by, I got a 17-foot Monarch. I mean, 17-foot all-welded bass tractor, and I'm like, shit, they're swamping my boat, especially when I had people on the boat. So anyway, I started taking pictures. Now, My phone started acting up on the next day. What it had done is it had went to roaming. I didn't pay attention to the reason why, because what I figured at the time was that all the cell phone towers were down. Now I was roaming to find a signal. Then it went to the next day to where I could only make 911 calls. I couldn't call anybody else. It wouldn't even roam anymore. Or, you know, for example, if a 911 call in that damn area, the phones don't work. I'm telling you, people, if you got a phone and you're in an emergency and you want to get somebody's attention, don't utilize this piece of shit. It's down or it's compromised. Period. When I got back and I did my after action report, I got some feedback from some guys that were there. Everyone to this T that was in my group. There was 12 boats in our little armada there. Everyone had a cell phone. It was disrupted. It was disrupted some way or form or another. I knew then I was compromised on this phone. I know now that they can listen to everything I'm saying on this phone. Making that shit up? No, I saw it in person. It's funny how wherever we went, that there was always some of these border, or I call them border patrol, but anyway, there was these kind of freaking boats showed up, and there's a lot of armed people. The story we got was that they were there for looters. No, they were actually in front of our boats, monitoring us going in and going out, and monitoring what we had when we came out. They were watching. I don't know. I didn't see anything top secret down there. I saw a bunch of water and all kind of other shit. But anyway, they were watching. And there wasn't no freaking need for crowd control. Everybody that was there was helping somebody get them out. So that's bullshit. That's horseshit. So get rid of this damn thing. I said to you earlier, if this is your main form of communication, I know this one ain't, this is a piece of shit. But if this is your main, I don't go with, okay, a smartphone, okay? Smartphone, they can fucking get into like 15 minutes and follow you everywhere you want to go. I don't even have GPS on this sumbitch. That's what I got a compass and a fucking map for. Only thing I utilize this sumbitch for is to call in and call out when I need help. Or to call in and get a location of something to where I need or where I'm going. And asking an individual, is it hot or is it cold? Hot or cold means, is there radar devices? Is there EMS? Is there fucking whatever the fuck is that? Whatever is not really routine for that area. At least I'm on alert. So that's my spiel. But anyway, sorry to get off. Once again, I go through the EAS system. How the EAS system is going to be affected is this: is at any time, okay, and you guys can probably attest to this, at any time for something happening, you have the EAS system, like, you know, like be on the lookout for, we call it a BOLO report, be on the lookout for a red truck, license plate number. They don't really tell you what it's for. They just give you the information, and they be on the lookout and call them instead of telling you what. But they don't advise you to take action. So in other words, if you see somebody on the highway, you call and they're supposed to take care of it. Really? Let's flip the side of that coin over a little bit. What if we're just telling people to get the hell out of the way and report them, so they know where they're at, so they can they can pave the way. On the QT, that's a lot of how that's a lot of how human trafficking happens, because these individuals are identified by their license plate number and the color of their truck, and they're actually put on a BOLO account, and everybody that hears that BOLO account in that circle or in that ring will actually know to go and intercept that individual, provide them alternative ways of transportation. But they're on the look. They're looking out now. You got all the people, everybody in that area looking for a damn vehicle that's been ditched somewhere. Also, with the EAS system, you need to be careful, because this is going to be happening probably within the next 2 weeks. You're going to see more reports on here, and what's going to happen is they're testing the system, because the fact is that at any time, once this EAS system goes off, it can be manipulated to where you will be directed to a place where you can hear the president of the United States or someone else who's in charge. How's that important when anybody can get access to these boxes? They're right on top of freaking Google. They're right on top of every substation that you have. Verizon probably the main one. Yeah. Anyway, look out for Verizon. So they can come in and send disinformation by these freaking phones, and you're not even knowing it. They could tell you to go north, and you should have went south. They could. So double check your info. Assume your computer is going to go out. If they block the grid or the grid goes down, you better have a damn generator. Because between social media and this phone is the only way we're going to be only way we're going to be getting information out, which it is the fan. And guess what? They both have already compromised. And you know you can't trust the mainstream media. So, my phone terror, but anyway, the AS system, beware and monitor how how many times it's going off. And if you have a phone and it runs out of battery, and it takes it 3 times to blink before it goes off, you're compromised. If you suspect you're being compromised, take out the battery. Go purchase a new battery. I suggest you stay and you use this phone because it can be a decoy. The reason why is because the fact is that you can go down and buy at the Walmart. You can go down and get what I call a throwaway phone. You can buy minutes on it per cash. Nobody knows who the hell it is. They don't even know who you are. But you can make phone calls directly from there if you've been compromised or you suspect you've been compromised. Sometimes one phone call is all you need. Sometimes that's all you fucking get. And I damn sure don't want to be in this phone if it's compromised because anyway, I got fucking FBI, DEA, I got everybody over the helicopters and shit to be another freaking Mandalay Bay. I always touch on this subject, not to go too far, but beware and listen to the news on here. Broadcastify is a great source. Be willing to actually listen and have a scanner on. I do my videos, but normally as soon as I get off, I got my scanners on. I scan off of here. I got 3 computers. I got 3 computers in here. I got 2 big screens, and I got shit where I can constantly receive information. The information flow is key. Now, we're at a very opportune point at this time because Q has went silent. Run deep. Snow White, he's wiping his hands clean. In other words, when he comes back, he's going to come back all clean and shiny like Mr. Clean. And he had to do that. The key to that was the fact is that my main source on that was I asked, why in the hell is he having a problem with 8chan and 4chan? That was his first clue. After that happened, that's when he announced he was going to go dark. Is he dark forever? No. But there has to be things that have happened that he notifies in these 10 days that he has told us to watch for. These things have to happen for him to continue to operate. What are those? I can only speculate at this time. They're close, but they can't find him. But had he stood on the air and posted, he would have been put himself at a huge risk. It's like that tracking device. They're tracking you, and you go underneath you go into a tunnel. And you take the tracking device out, and you get on the other side, and they're like, where in the hell? They still think you're in a tunnel. There we go. Cute. It's like all pretty simple. But see, that's what we have to get to because the rule applies here. In most military operations, keep it simple and stupid. Always be willing to make it simple and stupid. If you can design, and you can figure out all of the commas, the question marks, and all this, and you read way too much into it, you'll never get to the answer. And also, the information that Q is going to come back is going to be determined by one thing. We all have the capability of asking questions. We all have the capability of critical thinking. In this scenario, we do not need to rely on somebody else to tell us what our opinion is or what we should believe. And this information that's being given to us, everyone has got to come to their own conclusion, because this affects different people in different areas. Some may get it quicker than others. That's why information and sharing information is such a big deal. But we keep it simple and we keep it stupid, because of the fact is that here's the end of the line. It doesn't matter what we find out from Q. It doesn't matter if we find all the answers. With Q, I totally believe that, you know what, he's not gonna come out and stamp the answers. What he's gonna do is he's gonna lead you to the point to where now I would be very, 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 I would actually predict that his last message is going to say this. Now, think. Think. Remember the adage with Q. This post could be affected by the one he did a week ago. Connect the frickin' dots. It's like we're leading a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. The last point that I'll make here is this. So we are going to get close. Q would hope that we get closer. It'll take some of the burden off of him. But the main question is going to be, and the main question that's going through Q's head is one thing about when he's sharing this information. Everybody's going to know about it. I told them it was coming. Now, what are they going to do about it? See, I think that's very important. Are we just going to sit back and just, oh, we figured it out. Yay, yay for me, I figured it out. I was the first one to figure it out. Yay me. Should be making plans to where all this stuff is going down. You should be drawing arrows on your whiteboard saying, okay, where in the fuck is this leading? Start putting together some kind of plan together. When you find something out, what you gonna do about it? A fellow once told me, he said, if you think that you're too small to make an impact, if you think that your opinions don't matter, or if you don't think that you should be in a class with certain people, spend one night in a tent with a bunch of mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are the most annoying damn thing in the world. When they bite, it hurts. The bigger they are, the worse it hurts. Well, no, the littler they are, it seems to hurt to me anyway. Whatever you want, whatever floats your boat. But anyway, they're always buzzing around you. They're always freaking making you, you know. And the worst part about a whole mosquito issue is the fact is you don't know where they're going to land next. Thank you very much, people. Do not let them know where you're going to land next. Do not tip off your research. Do not tip off if you know something or speculate something until you got the facts backed up to prove it, or you have a very strong feeling about this. Do not cause other individuals to go down a rabbit hole. That is the first line of defense that the government will use, is to deflect everybody off on another subject. And that's happening right now as we can see it. They're trying their best. Mandalay Bay guys, come on, man. Hillary, come on, man. There is not mentioned anything Hillary was involved in because they're deflecting from Hillary and Obama. We're saying, they're telling the American people that we do not have enough. Q has not told us enough to warrant convictions or indictments. It's bullshit. Because if you or I would have created one of these crimes, we would already be in jail. A speedy trial, hell yeah. It wouldn't take but a year, maybe, with appeal to find us guilty. This is a standard message from Q because the fact is he's letting you know that there are the elites and there are us. And the fact is we've got to figure out collectively how to get to them before they get to us. You're going to have to be able to deal with character assassination. You're going to have to be able to deal with them fucking with your computer. You're going to have to be able to deal with knowing every day that they may be listening. You're going to have to deal with, hey, is somebody freaking following me? People say that's paranoid. Well, if you don't believe me, guess what? Do the three turn rule. Go down, make a left, go make another left, and come back and see how many fucking cars you recognize. If you recognize one car, you're going too late. You're too damn late. Be aware that if you pop up on their radar by using some of these terms that they've identified in their algorithm, you're going to be checked out. Case in point, how many Muslims did we have that have blown shit up here in America or abroad? Have they been on our watch list? They've been gathering information this whole time on these son bitches, and they knew they were going to blow something up, so they let them. And these individuals came from another country without a passport, without a visa, without anything, and we found out the information on them. Ladies and gentlemen, look at your shit. How many times you got to put your last 4 your social security number down? When you log in, how many fucking questions do they ask you? Do you got to give a DNA sample? That's coming. Realize that if you take on this issue, these things are going to happen to you. And they are going to attack your channel. They're going to attack you. They're going to attack your channel. They're going to. Finally, people give up. I've seen a lot of YouTubers get slammed by the government because they put trolls in there and they just can't handle the criticism. Don't be that guy or girl. Because it is time, it is coming very close to the time that you're going to have to stand as an individual. You can't hide behind the crowd. Yes. Yes. Monthly test. I'm not shitting you. Here. It's happened to me in the last 2 days. 2 a day. So, you don't believe me? There you go. You don't believe what I'm spewing out? There you go. I'm warning you, and I'm letting you know where to look. The rest is up to you. If you like this channel, if you want to actually include me on your subscribe list, that's great. Because whether you believe it or not, it really doesn't make any difference how many likes or views I get or whatever, because the main people that I know that are actually viewing are the ones that are really fucking interested. YouTube is actually turned into a tool for us because we know who's listening, we know who's watching, and maybe we turned it around on them. Maybe because we're dropping keywords to our other compadres, but that might not be the case. Shit's serious, people. It takes serious people who are willing to get down and dirty to deal with this kind of situation. Nobody likes fucking war. But I tell you this right now, we're in one. And you're the target. You need to come to a higher plane of thinking. You need to get to the spot to where you're making sense of shit that normally you wouldn't pay attention to. You'd be hyper vigilant. You'd be looking where you're going. You need to be able to identify if something's out of the ordinary. Put a piece of tape on your door of your truck or your car. If you go to your truck or car and that some bitch is not stuck back, guess what? Somebody's been in your fucking car. Don't get in it. You can do the same thing to your hood. There are many ways that you can actually take precautions. I suggest somebody, or I suggest all of you, actually look at little small ways, secret ways you can protect yourself, or you can actually be alerted that somebody's watching you. And that's really all we really need to know. First of all, is are we sure somebody's watching us? And if we are, then we need to start taking appropriate action right then, because we don't know how far they've got. Yeah, your system just fucking went off. So I tell you the truth, I ain't got no reason to lie. Part of my mission is I protect and serve. No, I'm not a fucking cop. I protect you from enemies, foreign and domestic. And I'm telling you right now, you're being attacked by your own freaking government, and we know it, but we can't put our finger on it, and we don't, and we haven't asked the question, what can we do about it? It's all in the Constitution. A freedom of information request can go a long damn way to know what they're onto. They don't even have to answer. You can follow suit, but anyway, they don't even have to answer what they need to do it, but just hear the idea that somebody's onto them, they'll make necessary measures. And once we start getting them making necessary measures, then they forget something. It's a goddamn government. Every time the government tries to do something, it always fucks up. Snafu, food bar. If it ain't written in a book and they have to go off the wheel of their pants or the seat of their pants, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Help us keep the book closed. Or better yet, let's hide the fucking book. Whoop it. I'm out.